Hey there guys, in this video I'm going to talk about multiplying, dividing, and simplifying rational expressions. So really quickly, let me just talk about what a rational expression is. It's a ratio of two polynomial expressions where the denominator cannot be equal to 0. So we have something special that happens if the denominator is equal to 0. But I'll talk about that in another video. Or basically, you know what guys, the denominator cannot be 0. Otherwise you'll destroy the universe or something. To simplify a rational expression means to reduce it to its lowest terms and remove all the parentheses. Now, notice here there are no parentheses in this. Well, we need to make sure that we have factored this before we can simplify it. Okay, so you'll see what I mean in just a moment. So let's take a look at some examples. So let's say I have this rational expression and I want to simplify it. Now, in order to simplify any rational expression, the number one thing you want to do is make sure it is in factored form. So do not forget that you must factor before you do any simplifying. Factor, 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 factor. Okay? So let's go and do that first here. We're going to go and factor this. So when we factor this, we're going to get, well, we've got a greatest common factor in the top one. So we have 3y. And that's going to be y plus 7. And then we factor the bottom, and this factors to y plus 7 and y plus 3. Now that we have it factored, we can, well, we're not really canceling these out. Y plus 7 over y plus 7 is 1. So this is just 1. But I'll use this to look like it cancels out. And then we're going to end up with 3y over y plus 3. And this is our answer. Okay, as far as we can go. We can't cancel the y's out here because this is a plus. So whenever we have a plus or minus in here, if it's not in factored form, then we cannot simplify it. We're simply simplifying these because they're multiplied together. Okay? So let's take a look at another one. We're going to go and factor. Remember, that's the first thing you do is factor. All right, factor. So let's go and factor this. Now this is a tricky little factoring here. What I would do is I would factor out a negative and switch these around to x squared minus 64. All right, what that allows me to do, and here I've got a greatest common factor of 2. So we've got x squared minus 7x minus 8. What this allows me to do is to put this in a difference of 2 squares. And the other way was a difference of 2 squares also, but this way allows me to have x minus 8 and x plus 8, which when we factor the bottom, we will see that we will have x minus 8 times x plus 1, right? So that way, these 8's, x minus 8's, they go away, they simplify to 1, and we're going to be left with negative x plus 8 over 2 times x plus 1. Now I would let my students kind of leave it like this, but if your teacher is particular about putting it as multiplying it all out, you're going to want to have negative x minus 8 over 2x plus 2. I don't really think this. I think this is actually simplified form. So, but either way is okay. All right, let's take a look at the next one. We're going to go and simplify this. So what's the first thing we do? Factor. So we're going to factor this. This has the greatest common factor on top of 3y squared, which leaves me with y minus 3. And the bottom can be factored to 2y, y minus 3, 2y, oops. This is 2y. There we go. 2y minus 3, y plus 4. Okay, that gives me 8. Yeah. Okay, so then I factor it this way, and then these 2y minus 3's, which gives me 3y squared over y plus 4. So hopefully you practice this first before you try it. All right, let's take a look at another one. Okay, those are simplified. So what if we multiply? Well, if we're multiplying 2, we actually don't do anything different. We do the same thing. You can kind of treat this as it's just all over that, okay? So this x goes away with this x twice. This y squared gets with this one once. 7 goes into 21 3 times. 8 goes into 16 2 times. And we're going to get whatever we have left. So up here we have nothing left. So what's a 1? Down here we're left with 3 times 2 x, or 3, and we have a y here. So 3 times 2 is 6 y x squared. Alright, so anything that's either opposite corners, okay, so side here, or on top of each other, we're going to be able to simplify out. Alright, so go and practice this one. I'll give you a second to work on that. Alright, so we've got this a squared with this a squared. 2 goes into 8 4 times. B goes into this one once. C goes into this one once. And that's about all I have. So I'm left with, on the top, 3c over 5 times 4, which is 20, 20b. That's it. Okay? All right, let's look at another one. This is division now. Now, division is the same as multiplication, except I'm going to, whenever I'm dividing a fraction, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to have 2k minus 6 over 4k plus 4 times 1 minus k squared over k squared minus 4k plus 3. Because I'm dividing, since I'm dividing a fraction, I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. All right, so now I'm going to do all the factoring here. All right, so I'm going to factor this out, and I'm going to factor a common factor out of that one. So 2k minus 3 over 4k plus 1. Now this guy right here, this guy, remember, is one of those negative difference of squares. So I'm going to have negative k plus 1 times k minus 1 all over k, it looks like it's going to be minus 3 and k minus 1. You should be able to factor these by now. If you need trouble with factoring and you're one of my students, come see me at lunch or after school or in the morning. If you're not one of my students, go, watch a video on factoring. So k minus, the k plus 1's here, the k minus 1's here, the k minus 3's here. Wow, 2 goes into 4 twice. All I'm left with, folks, is negative 1 over 2. All right, so when all is said and done, this is what we're going to end up with. All right, so I've got one more practice for you, and then that's it for this video. So go and take a second to practice that out. All right, so we're going to first I'm going to, and this is one of those negative guys here. I don't know why they show up so much. Times x squared minus x minus 6. I'm going to do the reciprocal, right? Okay, the reciprocal of this one. All right, now we're going to factor everything. So 3x plus 2 over negative x minus 3x plus 3, because this is a difference of 2 squares. X minus 3x plus 2 over 5 times x plus 2. And I've got this one and this one, this one and this one. And that's about it. So we're going to have, I'm going to put the negative on top. Negative 3 times x plus 2 over 5 times x plus 3. And again, if your teacher wants you to distribute that out, go and distribute that out. All right? Okay, folks. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.